Well, we got our newest member of the Benita First Ward here, Elizabeth.
The first time that he held me in the hospital after I was born, he got an erection.
Elizabeth, we're only using her first name, was repeatedly sexually abused by her father from birth.
He started abusing me, like, literally as soon as they brought me home from the hospital.
Her family was deeply involved in the Church of Latter-day Saints, and her attorney says they attended this ward in Lemon Grove. Her father was an elder there, and she says he used their Mormon faith as a weapon, framing her personal hell as the path to heaven.
If you love me, you'll do this for me. And Jesus wants us to love each other. And I wanted to show him that I loved him, so I did.
Her father hid his dark secret, but Elizabeth's mother caught him in the act when she was only 5 years old.
Unsealed court documents reveal a massive sex abuse cover-up inside the Mormon Church. Ring of Fire's Farron Cousins joins me to talk about that and many other issues. 6 years of sex abuse for a 5-year-old. The Mormon Church was told this is going on. And what do they do with that material?
Nothing. They did absolutely nothing with it. And this is just one of many instances now that we're finding out. But this particular story is so disturbing because not only was the father molesting his 5-year-old daughter, eventually his wife got pregnant again. And then when the baby turned 6 weeks old, he began sexually assaulting that baby as well.
Yeah, all this story is, it's just a way in to talk to you and everybody about how dysfunctional. Now, I call them a cult. People can get mad at me. It's a cult. I mean, if you really look behind this, the fact that these folks even got a tax write-off to be a church is as ridiculous as the Scientologists getting a write-off like that. But it's the Church of Latter-day Saints. You had a man who was being treated as a pornography addict. Goes to the bishop, says, Mr. Bishop, I've been molesting my 5-year-old child. Spills the beans. The bishop then goes to the lawyers, the national lawyers, not the local lawyers, but the lawyers who are calling all the shots. And the lawyer says, whatever you do, don't tell the police. Whatever you do, don't report this to child welfare where they can go in there and save that baby. That is the most disgusting. And you know what? When this case develops, they need to sue that lawyer right along with the church. And he's part of it. And from the other side, the church needs to sue that lawyer for malpractice because this is blowing up like crazy right now.
What you just seen there was a couple of clips talking about the horrific things that go on within the Mormon Church. This is the video that I was telling you guys I was going to make the follow-up as I talked about how the devil has set a trap with the Sound of Freedom movie. And once again, the disclaimer, I don't support child trafficking. I don't support rape of children, rape of women, rape of boys, any of it. I believe it should be a life sentence with no parole for these types of people. But the devil has fooled millions with this. And I'm going to make my argument. And by the end of this video, put your comments. Let me know if I stand where I stand and where you stand. But I'm getting ready to show you the trickiness of what the devil has done. Hopefully I can get it all done in this one video. But before we start, look what I got, guys. Those that you follow me, you know I haven't bought the notes for back in a while, but they're here. So jot it down, and I'm getting ready to go through some things. Do you know that we know that the movie was taken up by Angel Studios? Okay, so those of you, some of you know, some of you don't. Angel Studios is the Mormons, basically. The Mormon organization. Studios got hold of this movie and put it out there, and they've got this thing called Pay It Forward. So you suppose at the end of the movie, you supposed to pay so that other people can go. And there's stories out there now that some people have went to theaters and there's only 25, 30 people in there, but yet they was telling them that it was full. So Angel Studios, why do I bring that up? Look at this. Angel Studios is expected. Well, not Angel Studios, but the Mormon Church, the LDS Church is expected to be worth $1 trillion by 2044. $1 trillion by 2044. And on top of it, as of 2022, they're worth $236 billion. And they pressed people with the tithes, and when people were financially struggling, especially with the pandemic, they want the money. They want the money. So that pay it forward, paid right. So stay right there. Think of that. So we're talking about, put that on the shelf. Let me keep going. And then, but do you ever notice that, okay, they wanted to take up this child trafficking thing and get it out there in the movie, and we know that child trafficking happens and things like that. It's not as prevalent. It happens in the United States, but the numbers show, and when I was studying, and you do research yourself, we have it, but we don't have it like parts of Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, places where tourists from Europe and America fly over so that they can have sex with kids and all of this kind of stuff. And even the police and all of them are corrupt, even though they got laws in these parts of the world and parts of the world for this stuff, but it goes on. And that's what's happening. So, but this movie, it's a lot, it's more so they have it as if, you know, they want to put the spotlight, Tim Ballard, the guy that played this role, that worked for the government there, and then Jim Caviezel that's playing him in the movie or so. They want this spotlight as if they're these great warriors all of a sudden and all of this stuff. When as if there's this boogeyman riding around as one of the people that actually do this kind of work as well, said like as if there's a white van driving around looking to snatch kids up off the street any and everywhere. And that's not the way you look at it. It's what they were saying, because most trafficking, and you look this stuff up, I do my research. Most trafficking happens from runaways, foster kids, people, families selling people for that and all of that. That's where it happens. You got a broken home and the girl gets out there, or guy, whatever, and gets out there and falls into the hands of a pimp or falls in. That's how it usually happens. It's not these constant vehicles running around looking to snatch up thousands of people off the streets. Yeah, it happens, but that's not the main focus. And that's what some of these people that work for these organizations want people to know and understand. That this is where, but the movie, but put that on the shelf. Put that on the shelf. Now let's get to Tim Ballard and Jim Caviezel. Two conspiracy QAnon. You guys have heard this QAnon stuff. These QAnon people have infiltrated. They started, some people trying to say, well, the movie was already done before. No. The QAnon stuff started dripping onto the scene around 2000, late 15, 16, right around that time, maybe even a little before. And there it was in. So that movie was in production and QAnon was around. And these guys believe some of the wildest. The QAnon people, I don't have time to go into it. Watch my other videos where we talk about some of the wild, crazy things they believe in and all of this stuff. Even as far as Jim Caviezel, the guy that plays Tim Ballard and played Jesus, and talking about the Nazis in Ukraine and all of this, and more so saying Putin is really doing, like a lot of the conspiracy people believe it, Putin is cleaning house and doing what's supposed to be done and all of this stuff, and drinking of bloods and all of this stuff. That's what they talk about. And that's what, and you notice that that feeds into, this movie perfectly feeds right into their agenda. That's the whole point. And I have on here, here's the big one, as we talked about. Ain't it funny that the Mormon Church, a false religion, founded by false prophet Joseph Smith, that's not even 200 years old yet, and already, as of last year, worth $236 billion, and got all kind of, there's documentaries out there. Someone mentioned to me, when I made the last video, the Temple of Doom, I think that's what it's called. You can find that on YouTube, but there's all kind of documentaries of the horrific sexual trafficking and abuse that goes on within the Mormon Church. And we know that there's been abuse within the Catholic Church, abuse in the Southern Baptist, abuse in all the churches in certain ways, but on large scales in various ones. But the Mormon Church this is not the Lord Jesus Christ. Even though they use Jesus Christ and they talk about Jesus, it's not the same Jesus. The Judeo-Christian, the Jesus that the King James version of the Bible that we talk about. It's not that Jesus. And this is the problem. This is the thing. Why didn't they make a film? Why didn't they get a production? Why did Caviezel and all of these, why didn't they make something about that goes on right here in the United States, right within the church realm? Why didn't they do it? See? And they're focusing, off in the jungles of Colombia, way across the other parts of the world where we can't even control them governments because they're so corrupt. The governments themselves, just like in Thailand and all of that, they've got the laws. Tourists go up there. I think what was his name? Glitter, that they got busted for messing around with a couple of 10, 11-year-old or something. Jerry the Glitter, or the singer guy, whatever, is a while back. But he got sentenced to 3 years, and that was supposed to be their strong message to come down with the hammer on things. But I have on here, yeah, they act like they care so much about the children. Everyone acts like they care. Oh, I can't believe that's happening. Come on, give me a break for some of you out there. You didn't know trafficking's been happening? Sweatshops, because it's not only sex. Sweatshops all around the world, and then we purchase the stuff. Unfortunately, all of this stuff, we know that stuff has been going on. We know about some of it. Some of it we didn't know. Maybe it's on such a large scale. UNICEF can't put a number on it. As last research, it's somewhere between 60,000 to 200,000, some number, an astronomical number. They can't really put a number on it where it's all around the other parts of the world and within the United States. But right here, right in the Mormon Church, it's right there and all of that. And they don't talk about that. But yet they want to sweep everything, and the churches don't want to talk about it. And I have on here, how did God's church, the real church, how did this come to a point where all of a sudden Christians are so much in this uproar and all of this stuff, and it took the Mormons to come along and try to shine a light on this type of stuff to make it appear like, we got to do something and all of this. And when you got politicians and you got all these people that's been around, act like they care about Christians. These QAnon people act like they care about, children. These QAnon people act like they care about them. All of these people act like that they care, politicians and all this and that. And you know what? I have on here why they act like they all care. You know why they don't care? Because they're part of the problem and all of that. And let's just look. This right here might make some people mad, but I'm just going to tell the truth about it. Now, I'm not advocating for this open borders and all of this types of stuff. There's procedures, and I think that, something needs to be done. But ain't it awful funny that a lot of these people that are trying to escape trafficking, where their daughter might be taken by cartels and sold off into some type of trafficking situation and all of this kind of stuff, and they're doing everything they can, get boxcars, dying, all taking coyotes, the people that transport, trying to get over here, trying to escape. But yet, no, when you get here, you can't come over here. You can't do anything. We're going to separate daddy. We're going to separate you. We're going to do all of this stuff. And they care about the kids. They care about trafficking. And then do they really care about it? Nobody cares about it. It's just a big glorified, and guess who's pocketing all the money? Angel Studios and the Mormon Church. And the devil has pulled a fast one. Once again, because I have it on here, right here, as I bring this message to a close. The devil wants you to focus on the world while hell has broke out throughout the church. That's what he wants you to do. Everyone's, all the Christians and everybody's, you got to do this, that, and that. And there's right up under our noses, right within households, there's abuse running rampant everywhere. Pastors, messing around with the children and women and all of this
In a
stuff.
prison, if my brother, and many of you know him, Edgar Wolf, had not approached me just 2 weeks ago with what he had seen as a teenager that bothered him all these years. His pastor in bed with his younger sister, a t-shirt and underwear on. People knew but were too afraid to come forward, and they have now. The lies and the manipulation have to stop. I was a prisoner and you kept me in your prison. I'm a prisoner no longer. I was just 16 when you took my virginity on your office floor.
That's going on within this stuff. And all of this. And all of these little sects and all of these different branch offs that call themselves Christians or are part of in the name of religion. And the devil's sitting back. And you know what that does? Because if the church want to act like it's focusing all on, oh, look at all of this stuff happening out here in the world, this, that. And not looking within and looking at self. See, that's what's the problem. And you know what's happening? The church is not moving in power. The church is not moving in any type of power. The church is powerless at the moment because it's not allowing the Holy Spirit and the Lord to lead the way. We're relying on people. We're relying on nationalists, false prophets, liars that's lying out there in the Lord's name, people that are money hungry. We're relying on any and everything else but the Lord. And all of a sudden we think that Angel Studios and Jim Caviezel and Tim Ballard and all of these types of people are the ones that are the saving grace of some sort. No. Do you really care about the kids? Because, you know, there's these laws and some of this stuff that's going on and all of this. You need to clean up your own house. And it needs to start by not allowing this Mormonism where they have gotten a foothold. Because in reality, you know what they're trying to do? It's another trick of the devil as well. They're trying to, everyone's trying to get this one religion type deal to go on. Because a lot of you hear some of these prophets and false prophets and people out here, oh, we got to learn to, why are we bashing one another? We got to come together. Let's come together. Let's everybody get under one big tent. And they want to bring one world religion, bring everyone together. And that's really what they want. Because if you think about it, it's one of those things of, oh, wow, they're so concerned. They're doing such a good work out there. They're out there doing a great thing. Let me go volunteer some time. Let me go do this. Let me do that. And all of that. And you then fell into the trap. Don't do it. Because on this channel, we call out stuff like that. We call out traps. We talk about Satan and punch him right in between the chops and talk about the issues the church went away from. Evangelism for God is the channel. If you're new, consider subscribing, hit like, coming along for the journey, because we're going to march forward and we're going to keep it going. I know, let me know what you think, but that's the whole point. There's a lot more I wanted to say and try to get it all in, but I don't want the video to be super long. It takes a minute. I'm trying to clear up space of the phone so I can get it stuff loaded right properly and all of that, and that's a headache. But anyway, we'll keep going. But don't let these false prophets and all of these types of people fool you. Because they're out here, they're tricky, they're sneaky. And the devil's sneaky. I told you he was going to change his tactic. Yes, we'll continue to pray and ask that shackles and many of these people are set free. But you know what? Sit back and look. We'll see who does what. These folks ain't really doing nothing. They just want accolades. They want the light shined on them. And most of all, as I say, they want the moolah, money. So until the next video, my friends, take care. God bless.